Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And welcome to the Tech Ranch, everybody. This is Marlo Anderson reporting from the Mandan Middle School where Tech Day is going on. And sitting next to me is the tech coordinator of Mandan Public Schools, Jamie Livingston. Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
All right. Speaking a little closer to the mic there. There we go. We got to get nice and close here today. So anyway, Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's been going on with Tech Day here?
Well, Tech Day started about 6 years ago here in Mandan, where we wanted to give our instructors a full day of technology training. So we were offered the day, and from that point forward, 6 years ago, it's been on ever since. We bring in, sometimes we do bring in some different vendors. We do it a little different each year, but this year we've mainly got our in-house instructors teaching the classes. Relatively no one from the outside is here training our teachers. So we pick our champions out. They agree to do some sessions on things that work well for them in the classrooms, and then off they go.
All right, Jamie, and tell me a little bit about, you've been here with Mandan for 17 years now. Can you tell me a little bit about the changes you have seen in 17 years? And you have to speak up a little bit here. So,
I tell you what, in in my 17 years, we started with a frame relay, one internet connection maybe in each building here in Mandan. We've not only grown student population-wise, but building-wise as well. That led to needing a more robust network, and through ITD in the state, we've been able to gain a high-speed network here in Mandan. We're on a 10 gig throughout at this point. We had Macintosh desktops at one point. We went PC. We've changed up quite a bit. We've gone from very little to a whole lot, including our wireless infrastructure. That's gotten nice and robust, and we've grown for the better.
So can we talk a little bit about where you see students using technology, in the everyday classroom? Are you finding that they actually learn better simply because they're working on iPads and other technology?
Well, we've got several classes at the high school that are using iPads exclusively, and it's just a natural progression. Our kids today, they want to learn with technology in their hands. It's a bit more engaging for them. They're born with it in their hands, and that's exactly what they use to do their homework today. It's how they entertain themselves. It's hard to find a student or a kid, for that matter, without some sort of technology in their hands, and that's how they're getting along.
So do you feel that, I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this question, I guess, but does their learning accelerate? Do they catch on things quicker because it's an interactive type of situation when they're using this technology?
Well, what I think is that each child learns differently, and I think that common ground is technology, and the reasoning behind that is it's more engaging. It's a bit more fun for them to learn when they're learning with devices that they want to use. Paper pencil for them is so boring. They having the technology in their hands actually makes them unaware of their learning environment, and it becomes transparent, the learning that's involved. So I would say that the technology in their hands, I wouldn't say that it accelerates the learning, but it engages them to want to learn.
So what about cost savings for school districts? Do you find that, and I'm just going to use the most blatant example I can think of here is cost of books. When you start moving to digital media, do you find that the cost savings for the school district is pretty dramatic?
I'm really not into had and conferences I've been to and things that I do know is that our district will save a considerable amount of money by producing or purchasing digital content for our students.
All right, so now we're moving on to some fun stuff here. You have to grab your list that we have here. But Jamie put together a little program for Tech Day here at the school, and he came up with 10 cool technology facts. And, of course, everybody knows I love lists. And so, Jamie, why don't you just go through each of these, and if I have a little comment, I'll pull the mic away from you.
Okay, number one. Well, these are Jamie's 10 cool technology facts. Okay. Number one, on eBay, there's an average of $680 worth of transactions every second.
All right, so let's do some quick math. So let's say $700 at 60 seconds is $42,000 a minute times 60 minutes in an hour. So we're at $250,000 an hour that eBay sells. Pretty amazing.
Whatever you say.
Okay. You're a tech guy. Math's supposed to come to you like this. All right, number two.
All right, number two. 91% of all adults have their mobile phone within arm's reach every hour of every day.
All right, number three.
There are 6.8 billion people on the planet, and 4 billion of them use a mobile phone. Only 3.5 billion of them use a toothbrush.
So mobile phones are more important to people than brushing their teeth. That's apparently interesting. All right.
Number four, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, as well as Apple have one not so obvious thing in common. They were all started in a garage. That's true.
Yeah, pretty amazing. A lot of tech companies have been started in garages, but it's pretty amazing when you think about some of the three biggest companies in the world now, all garage-based at one time. Number five.
25% of Americans use only a mobile device to use the Internet. Now, that's amazing.
25%. Yeah. Pretty amazing. All right, number six.
Every minute, 100 hours of video are uploaded on YouTube by individual users.
So every minute, 100 hours of video. So have you ever heard the number for how many hours there are on YouTube right now?
I have not. What is that? Do you know?
I have no clue. No clue. So
we'll find that out.
Yeah, Brian's flashing number 5 over here. Yeah. There you go. Number 7. Is that where we're at?
Number 7. There are 271 million mobile subscribers within the United States alone, and numbers are quickly growing.
So a little over 300 million people in the country, 271 of them are subscribers. Amazing. Number 8.
We are connected. No doubt about it. 220 million tons of old computers and other technology devices are trashed in the United States each year.
That is a ton of, literally, tons and tons of stuff. Number 9.
Well, I want to go back on that one.
All right, say it again.
Well, no, I want to talk about that.
Okay.
You know, this isn't a plug or anything either. So I just want to say that, here in Mandan, when we are done with our technology, I typically call on a recycling company that reissues computers. They fix them up, reissue to nonprofits, or they buy them outright for the gold that's inside the machines to do so. We try and do our best here to recycle machines rather than just throwing them away.
All right. And Jim, if you want, let's go to a break, if you're there. All right. And after the break, everybody, Jamie Livingston will continue with the countdown. And after that, Brian and Sherry will be joining us with App Wars. So come on back.
Right now, 37.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck & Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at Facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or TheTechRanch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank everybody who listens to us across the country and around the world on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's Tech, it's here. Of course, we're also on LinkedIn and the Roku, Radio Pup. We have all kinds of places that you can catch the Tech Ranch. Sitting next to me is the Tech Coordinator of Mandan Public Schools, Jamie Livingston, and we were just kind of finishing up with the top 10 Jamie's cool tech facts. All right, and we're at number 9.
Here's number 9. 90% of text messages are read within 3 minutes of being delivered.
So does that scare you a little bit?
A little bit, because people drive.
We need to change that somehow or another, don't we?
Yeah, robotic cars would work.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that today, as a matter of fact. All right, number 10 on your big list.
Number 10, 30 million individuals watch television programming from their mobile phones.
So up from, okay, so 30 million right now. That's going to go up dramatically, isn't it?
It might be up just as we were speaking.
Yep. All right.
A lot of subscribers there.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. I really appreciate you being on the Tech Ranch today.
No problem.
And as we go along through the day here, we'll be bringing other people in from the Tech Day that they have going on here at Mandan Middle School. And next up, we're going to have Brian Reinbold and Sherry Johnson. Brian and Sherry are with Brave Hearts for Kids out of the Chicago area. And we had invited them in to actually participate in App Wars. I get excited when I say App Wars. So, Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm a little winded because, I may have misunderstood you. I've been sitting over there doing some sit-ups. I thought you maybe said Ab Wars.
Ab Wars. Like I just said, I have an app machine, and I actually have an app now, so it works really well. Sherry, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
All right, and we're excited to have you guys here today. And the rules of App Wars are as follows. We basically try to outdo each other with the different apps that we have. So Brian was saying earlier that he's probably not a big app person, but he'll have to chime in occasionally here. So basically we're going to talk about the apps that you have on your phone. I'm going to try to talk a little bit about the apps I have on my phone as well, and talk about why they're useful in our daily lives. So what's the first app that you use?
Can we just declare a winner, at the beginning, since I have, several pages of apps? I mean, even if I don't use them, can we just, declare me the winner? Okay, let's see. What do I have here? My newest one that I really like is called Asana, and it links to a program online called Asana, where you can set up groups and communicate to one another. You just update your projects, and it automatically updates your teammates. And now I can do this from my phone. So it's pretty cool.
So what do you use Asana for?
It's a project management app, and it's actually free. It's kind of a plug for them, but it's a free thing up to so many users. You can set up your projects, your calendar, your milestones, and the whole bit. And now you can do it from your phone.
Spell that.
It's ASANA.
All right, Asana. That sounds pretty cool, actually. The first one I have is probably not exciting for a lot of people, but Google Hangouts. Now, of course, I'm on the Android platform. Sherry, of course, is on iOS, Apple platform, correct?
Also Android.
You're also running Android.
Yeah,
okay.
We're on the same team, actually.
Hey, that's cool. All right. iOS is not being represented well today, but that's okay. Google Hangouts. Do you use Google Hangouts?
I have not.
Okay, so Google Hangouts is a communication tool. I mean, you can video chat with it. You can send text with that. And what I like about it is that it's cross-platform and cross devices. So I can be on my computer, on my tablet, on my phone. If somebody's trying to get a hold of me, and if I have Google Hangouts turned on any of those devices, they all go off at the same time. Or
same time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and of course it's free as well. The video conference tool is also very, very cool in there, and of course, like most Google things, it is free. So absolutely love Google Hangouts. And your next one.
Okay. Let's see. I will talk about Shazam. Do you know about Shazam?
You have to tell me about it.
Okay, Shazam is a barcode reader. So if you're in the store shopping and you're curious, who else carries this product and maybe what the price is somewhere else, you just run your Shazam over the barcode, and it pulls up everything on the internet, all the pricing, so you can know right there while you're standing in the aisle exactly what the deal is everywhere.
Pretty cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, and for everybody who's just joining us here, we're actually broadcasting live from the Mandan Middle School for Tech Day here today. Brian, do you have an app you want to talk about?
Yeah, I tell people that I'm not the best tech guy. In fact, when you said Mandan Middle School, I thought that brings to mind the mentoring idea I had to pair me with a middle school student to explain my telephone. But one of the apps that I do use sometimes is the mobile hotspot, and that allows me to use my phone, my Android device as a hotspot, so that I can get on with my computer.
And that's been a feature that's becoming more and more popular all the time. One of the things that I always tell people about using a mobile hotspot is if you have to do some banking or anything that you're using a password on or what have you, you always want to use your mobile hotspot instead of a public Wi-Fi, because I could sit here in the public Wi-Fi that we're on right now and actually capture other people's passwords and bank information or whatever. So if you have to do things that are critical, you always want to use your mobile hotspot first.
That's something that I did recall about the mobile hotspot app, is that it gives you that security that you don't have when you're sitting in a public place otherwise.
So there's one other app, too, that you can use. It's called Hotspot Shield VPN. And you can actually put that app on your phone, and that would actually allow you to use a public Wi-Fi, and it actually encrypts the information. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like that a lot. I actually have a correction I have to make. Yeah. Shazam is not the app. It's Profit Bandit that does the barcode thing. Shazam is for finding out what music is. When you're hearing it, you can hold up your phone and you can find out who is the artist and what the name of the song is. So everybody, I'm very sorry about that. If you're trying to Shazam some prices right now, it won't work. It's Profit Bandit.
Well, I was wondering about that, too. I mean, I know there's a lot of apps. Yeah, there's a lot of apps, and a lot of them have similar names. But I always thought Shazam was for finding music. I use SoundHound myself, but it does the same thing.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
See somebody at the store with some background music going on, a little barcode, and it's yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so next on Sherry's list here. What do you got for us next?
Here, you told you one. Okay, I'm falling behind here. What do I have? Oh, I have Kindle.
Okay.
Yeah, Kindle. So I can read my books right on my phone, which is pretty cool.
So do you do that a lot?
No. But I could do it if I wanted to.
And definitely not while driving.
I was just wondering how you like that over actually having a Kindle itself, if it's just as good on your phone. Although you have a very large phone here, so I'm guessing that would probably be okay. So next one on mine is goggles. I don't know if you've ever used goggles before. Google goggles. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So first of all, you're talking about barcodes. You can scan any barcode in the world, and it tells you about the product, kind of what you were talking about earlier too. QR codes, it'll read the QR codes, but it does a lot more than that. Let's say you were traveling and you took a picture of a landmark, okay? It'll actually recognize the landmark if it's in the database and bring you to websites that probably talk about it. So let's say, for example, the Custer House. You can actually take a picture of the Custer House, and then it'll give you information about the Custer House. You can actually take pictures of people. Or the other day, I took a picture of a ketchup bottle just to see what it would do. It actually returned that it was the particular brand of ketchup, and it actually had all kinds of websites on it. So Google Goggles, and I believe that that's going to be something that will continue to get better and better. It also has integrated translation in it now too. So if you take a picture, or let's say you're in a restaurant and you use Google Goggles on a menu that's maybe in Spanish, you can actually convert it to English. So these are the things that Google Goggles can do. It's pretty cool. So,
well, actually, that brings me to a question that I have for you, Marlo. Wouldn't it be cool, and probably something like this is coming out, where instead of learning a language, you could just like hook up some like Google Goggles or Google Glasses, and then as you spoke, whoever you were speaking to, it would just like translate it at that moment.
And we're going to go to break right there with that thought. We'll come back and talk about that a little bit more. After the break, everybody, Brian Reinbold, Sherry Johnson are here at the Mandan Middle School as we are at Tech Day. So come on back, everybody.
Right now, 37.
Your news leader, weeknights at 6 and 10. Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we are broadcasting live from the Tech Day here at Mandan Schools. Hey, Jim, are you still there?
I'm here.
All right. Hey, I forgot to mention, you know, today is our 3rd anniversary of this program.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not even there to have cake.
I was going to say the cake is delicious. We're all sitting here getting sugar shock and throwing cake at each other. It's great.
All right. Well, thanks for that. So anyway, okay. I just wanted to bring that up.
I'll scrape some off the desk here and save it for you.
I appreciate that. So anyway, Brian Reinbold's sitting next to me here, and he had a very interesting tour a couple days ago. And Brian, I'm just going to let you give us all the thunder about what you did. But why don't you talk a little bit in detail about the facility you just toured?
Thanks, Marlo. The facility is the CDH Proton Center in Warrenville, Illinois, and CDH Central DuPage Hospital. It's one of 12 proton therapy centers used for treating cancer. And the way that we got involved with that is through the Brave Hearts for Kids organization, and the work that was done originally on the little girl that inspired the organization at the Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. And her life was saved, and she has a normal life as a 4th grader, run, jump, play, and just exceptional in every way, in part because of the great technology that's being developed. And the proton radiation technology is something that is really remarkable. We're making a great effort through Brave Hearts for Kids to get the word out about that so families and children with cancer can benefit from that. I was able to tour the CDH Proton Center last week, and the way that this works is that it directs the radiation through the cyclotron creates a proton radiation beam that begins as a square beam, and it's channeled through a brass ring that is machined to the shape of the tumor in 2 dimensions. And then the next feature is within that brass ring is unusual as it seems, a wax structure, which is a 3-dimensional structure that the 3 dimensions regulate the depth that the protons go into the tumor. So the radiation is regulated in all 3 dimensions and can be very specifically targeted. What this means is that the medulloblastoma, for example, a brain tumor surrounding the brainstem of a little girl, is able to be eradicated without damaging the brainstem. And so it doesn't result in a reduction in IQ, and it doesn't result in a lack of motor skills that other types of radiation technology might do.
All right, so you have a tour, and I'm assuming they're taking some type of imaging first to create this brass ring that you call it. That's the size of the tumor, correct? Is that how that works?
That's right. Yeah, on site they have a CAT scan machine that they use to calibrate that, and they said that the real breakthroughs and jump in technology has been the ability to digitize the image so that they can find exactly how to create a proton beam in 3 dimensions to just take care of the cancer.
So how many treatments does a person have to go through?
Well, that will vary, but they said it's a process that can take from 6 to 9 weeks. And so families tend to have one of their family members and their child in residence nearby a center like this to undergo this kind of treatment. So it's a tremendous commitment and expense for people to do that, but it is a miracle. It's just miraculous technology.
So the side effects, I mean, are the side effects greatly reduced, let's say, in comparison to like a chemotherapy type of situation?
Well, that, as I understand, yes, with chemotherapy, the entire body is affected, and so there's chemo sickness, and there's also radiation sickness that occurs from blanket type radiation, and the feature that I understand about this is that it is so directed that it, in the case of a brain tumor, it will not damage the brainstem, and it just affects the cancer.
So is this technology available to everybody right now, or how does a person get into this program if you need it?
That's a good question, and that's by medical referral. And part of our challenge is to make the knowledge of this available to people. The Texas Children's Hospital was the third center in the country. CDH is one of only 12. And even those that we regard as the top of the line medical, such as Mayo, are just entering this field. So it's something that we see it as. You might even, in your App Wars analogy, it's something that when you see an app that's like, oh my gosh, that's so over the top good, that's going to be very popular. I think this is something that in 10 or 20 years, maybe before that, and hopefully as soon as we can, it'll be something that everyone benefits from. Because to me, it's an absolute miracle to see how this works.
So is this technology, let's say our local hospitals here, I mean, is this something that they will eventually get as well, do you think, or is this going to be specialized, just to these particular locations?
Marlo, that's a good question. I would expect that it will be something that you'll see at the local hospitals and in more locations. I remember having a discussion about 30 years ago when magnetic resonance imaging was being developed, and I remember at the time having a conversation with somebody who said there are 6 of them in the country, and now I think there's a couple of them in Bismarck, Mandan, and they're perhaps not common, but there are a lot of them, and it's a technology that people are familiar with and they understand, and it keeps getting better all the time.
Yeah, technology is absolutely amazing, and I love following the technology in our medicine health world. So, one more time, where can we find more information about this? And is there a website or someplace that people can go to?
Well, our website is braveheartsforkids.org, and that's BRAVEHEARTSFORKIDS.org, and we'll put you in touch with whoever you need to ask us a question, and we'll do what we can to help.
All right, and I will put that on the website as well, thetechranch.com. So that way, if anybody has any questions or didn't get all of that, you can certainly hop on thetechranch.com and find out more information. And we have a couple more minutes before the break here, so we'll get right back into App Wars. Sherry, you got another app for us here, maybe?
No, actually, I was sitting here just thinking about Braveheart. I'm sorry, but it's been something that we're so passionate about, and I'm back on Bravehearts now. To be able to see a technology that was used, literally Ava was 13 months old when she was originally diagnosed. Now she's in 4th grade. Originally, they did not think she would survive the tumor, much less if they treated it, they didn't also feel that she would develop properly because of the fallout of the radiation hitting, other parts of her brain. And she's at such a small age, and she hadn't learned to talk or walk or any of those things. Now you come forward. She's in 4th grade. She plays soccer. She's smart. It's like a dream child. So we're incredibly excited to be able to be part of bringing this technology to other folks and to help people that are in a similar situation get the help that they need and have what we call an Ava miracle as well.
Yeah, absolutely amazing technology, and not to pull away from what you guys are talking about there, but some apps that we have. For example, WebMD. WebMD has an app, of course, for your phone And, you think about the ability to use that. Let's say you don't know how to do the Heimlich maneuver, for example, and you're in that situation, or maybe you don't know how to resuscitate somebody. You actually have a device in your hand that you can call up and grab this information very, very quickly nowadays. So I love apps like WebMD. And do you have a health app on yours as well?
I do not.
Okay.
I said, log back in my phone.
Okay. But yeah, WebMD, and there's, of course, many, many others out there as well. And I always think it's a good idea. Maybe you don't need it for yourself, but you never know. If you come across an accident someplace or, any of those type of things, to have that information available to you quickly. And most of these apps are free. That's the reason they have them is for those emergency type of situations where you need to have that information available to you quickly. That's what they're designed for.
That's the ability to access information in our time is so astounding. I've heard said that a tribesman in Central Africa, where they've never had telephone lines, now has access to the same information at the same speed that the President of the United States had 15 years ago.
Absolutely amazing. All right, Jim, we'll go to break here. So after the break, everybody, we'll continue our conversation with Brian and Sherry, and hopefully we'll be able to get Mark Kilpinski over here as well. So see you back shortly.
Right now, 39.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And sitting right next to me, Mark Kilpinski with Mandan Public Schools. Mark has been part of the technology, I don't know what you want to call it here, the technology forefront of Mandan. I will say Mandan is probably one of the most technologically advanced schools in the state right now. And Mark has been a big part of that. So welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, so you were just talking about some new thing you just seen at break here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, my dad sent me a link to Secret, and it's a wristband. It's spelled CICRET.com. And it looks like a lot of the fitness bands that are out there right now, except it projects the image onto your forearm or onto the inside of your wrist. And then you use your finger, kind of like a smartphone, to choose your apps, to answer the phone, to play video. And I'm kind of wondering at what point are we not going to have, a laptop, a cell phone. It's just going to be a bracelet that we happen to have, and it's interesting.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Actually, some of this technology, of course, is being built into some phones as well, and you might not think it's a big deal, but same opportunities there where you can project on walls and that type of thing. So it does the same thing, but having a wearable device that you can project onto your arm and then, like I said, make a phone call or whatever is pretty cool.
Some of the directions that the technology is moving in is just unbelievable. They said that by 2019 that wearable technologies will be equal in money made to the airline industry today, about $19 billion.
Absolutely amazing. So let's talk about the school here a little bit now. You and I can have another discussion sometime in the future about other technologies, but we're sitting in your school right now, so let's talk about this a little bit. I love the fact that you've been incorporating, iPads into the school structure. So tell me about the progression of that a little bit.
Well, initially it was iPads in the science department at the high school. And at the same time that they were getting iPads, the elementaries started picking a few up here and there and have kind of kept up with that rapid pace of purchasing devices. The devices are getting to be that personalized learning option in the classrooms. Teachers are using them not just as a station, but more of a instructional mode to get students that either need that remediation, that direct instruction, or the expansive type of experience for going beyond the regular curriculum. So it's being used in all different types of ways. And what's really nice is that our teachers have been able to use that in so many different ways. It's not so much, here's your device, here's how you're supposed to use it. Here's your device, let us know how we can support that in your classroom. And the teachers have really made fantastic use out of the devices.
So can you tell me a little bit about how, it enhances the learning atmosphere in the classroom and maybe outside the classroom?
Well, just having a device that's visual kinesthetic, meaning that you can see it and touch it at the same time, brings in a second mode of bringing that information into the brain and making that a little bit more concrete. Being able to drag something and have it repeat that task over and over again and kind of adapt to the user, whether it's a website or whether it's an app, is really nice. And to have that individualized, for 23, 24 students within a classroom, instead of one teacher giving one lesson that's supposed to, hit all of the students at the same level, same time, they're going leaps and bounds beyond, what they normally would do. So that aspect in and of itself is really, really nice.
So what other technologies are being used in schools nowadays that maybe you and I didn't have when we were in school?
Probably the first thing that I would think that in our classrooms, if there's a problem with it, would be the projector. Whatever's on your computer, whether it's notes, a website, the plan of attack for today, is being projected out there so that everybody can see it. When I was teaching, I was just giddy the first time that I got colored chalk instead of just the white chalk. It was, sure, you can laugh now, but colored chalk to me was a big thing because I could do a cell and have the different parts of the cell in different colors.
And that's going to be my question. Is there even a chalkboard in most classrooms nowadays?
Whiteboards. I'm not aware of chalkboards in classrooms in the district any longer.
And what about Promethean boards?
Promethean boards would be in every classroom right now, that interactive whiteboard. When Red Trail, our new elementary, was built, they have a new touch-sensitive Promethean board. So not only can you use a stylus pen on that board, you can also use your fingers on that board. And it will recognize when you're touching it with the stylus versus when you're touching it with your fingers. So if you wanted to enlarge an image, you could just take two fingers and pull them apart, and that image would enlarge or the text would enlarge. So there isn't anything that has to be done by the teachers or the kids in order for that interactivity, that enhancement to occur, kind of like an iPad or a tablet of some sort.
So what percentage of students in the high school now have iPads?
Personally, or access to, I would say right now at the high school we probably have about 275 iPads. Elementary, I would say that we're at about 16, Elementaries, I would say we are at about 800.
So are you purchasing books, the textbooks, that type of thing, in an electronic format now? And is that starting to, and if that's the case, are you starting to see some cost savings there for the school district?
One of the things that our curriculum director is making sure that we have is, do we have a digital component? Do we have a digital textbook that we can use for that when we're purchasing curriculum or as we're looking at curriculum? I know that textbooks were not purchased this last year just so that we could take a look at some other options that were out there. And I'm not sure if later on this year yet there's going to be a purchase, but We have talked about using iBooks Author. We have some staff that are starting to use iTunes U and starting to look at the notes that are out there. So instead of recreating our own material, utilizing some of the material that's out there and in a digital format that can be used on iPads, that can be used in iTunes, on almost any device. So to answer your question, yeah, we're looking at it pretty heavy right now.
Well, I would think that there should be some significant cost savings there, in the long term to the school, which probably allows you the opportunity to get more iPads and tablets and that type of thing for the school district.
I would say yes. Yeah, there's no question about that. And, probably one of the other aspects of this is the creativity. The devices allow our kids and our teachers to be really creative in ways that we, could not have interacted or been creative in those curriculums. So that's another plus. I don't know how we would do that otherwise with a regular textbook.
And the other thing I've noticed, too, is the ability for students to log on when they go home and work on projects or whatever. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
We've got several programs that the students have the logons for, and they can log in whenever they'd like to. One of them that we're focusing on right now today is Khan Academy. And Khan Academy basically has a K, meaning kindergarten, through calculus math program. So you can jump in there and it will give you tutorials on anything. So those little holes in my learning where I didn't learn some stuff in high school math, yes, I know it's hard to believe that happened, but I'm able to go in there, look at the tutorials, look at the practice set, and then work on some of those, and it will check me off on those. The kids are able to do the exact same thing. If they want to advance themselves a little bit more, be challenged, learn some algebra while they're still, in elementary school, or do some brush up on their algebra because they are in high school, they're able to do that and do that well for free in a really engaging environment.
Right. That's it for today's Tech Ranch, everybody. I want to thank Mark Kopinski for the update there, Sherry Johnson and Brian Reinbold with Bravehearts, and, of course, Jamie Livingston, Tech Director here at Mandan Middle Schools, and we want to broadcasting live from the Tech Day at Mandan Middle School. Everybody have a good week.